In this video, I'm showing you a powerful keyword research tool for Bing, and it generates full keyword reports for every single one of those in an incredibly efficient manner. We could have 1,000 rows in this report, and it only uses one operation in Make.com using the bulk functionality. On our main channel, I showed you a version of this that I created for Google search. Now it just requires a very small tweak to adapt this to use Bing instead. If you are a member of our community, go to the keyword research automation section in our system templates, and now I've updated that section to include this Bing template, and you can generate your Bing keyword reports at scale. You can get set up with that in minutes without having to write a single line of code. At a high level, what this automation is doing is it's watching out for new spreadsheet rows, as you see here. So it's just looking for a new URL, and we should populate the number of results we want and the max position for those keywords. We only want to show keywords that are in position 10 or better. It's going to pick up each of those rows one by one. Then we're calling a separate BuildShip project. And this is where the magic happens within this automation. BuildShip is a low-code automation tool that offers a ridiculously generous free tier. I've used it quite a lot and I've never had to pay for it. In this case, I've created this scenario that it receives a call from Make.com. Then it extracts the number of results and max position from there. Then it calls Data for SEO directly from within this project. This is calling the ranked keywords API endpoint from Data for SEO. If you've never used Data for SEO before, it's a very powerful tool that a lot of other keyword tools actually use this as their main data source, where you can get lots of really rich SEO data. For example, in this case, we're getting data from the ranked keywords endpoint. You can select whatever data you want. And then when you're done with that, you can request, check out the response, and then go to this code example. Then you can copy out that code into the service you're using, such as BuildShip or Make.com, in order to construct that request. So you can see we've done that within the body of this request. The root URL is the URL that we provided earlier on. And then all of these other parameters are hard-coded in, similar to what you see here. I've added a bit more logic to the filters here, but it's not explicitly required. After that, I got ChatGPT to generate code for me. So what I did was I went into Data for SEO, I added in a request for Playground here, and then it came out with an example output that we're getting from Data for SEO. Then I copied that into ChatGPT and noted that I need to get the output in this exact format, which is this values and values list format. And then I asked it to provide the specific fields from the output. And with a bit of back and forth, I was able to get some work in JavaScript code that I could inject straight into this. And that's great because I'm not particularly good at writing JavaScript. And that gets around the limitation that Make.com has massive limitations towards handling text and arrays and reports. Once it's done with that, once it calls Data for SEO, parses the result, and then returns back to our scenario, then creates a new Google Sheet. So we have this create a sheet module, and the title for that is just the URL. So it creates this new spreadsheet, for example, this keyword report. It just creates a blank sheet to start with. After that, it moves it to a folder. So we have a specific folder within Google Drive. We want to store all of these keyword reports. So it moves that spreadsheet to a folder. Then after that, this is where the magic happens here, where we do a bulk API call. So spreadsheet ID values, A to Z append. So instead of using iterators and aggregators like 1,000 times for 1,000 rows, we make one single API call and we add method of post, content type, application JSON, and very importantly, we have data. This is the response data that we're getting directly from BuildShip, which is, as you see here, values, SE type, keyword, search volume. So we do not need to define what fields, what rows, or anything within Make.com. This is all handled within this because this code is constructing all of that for us. Then once it makes the API call, it populates everything there and then updates the row in Google Sheets here for a link to the keyword report. So as you see here, I've hard-coded this URL here, but I want to be able to update my Make.com scenario so that from one scenario, I can ask it to provide Google data, and the other scenario, I want to ask it to provide Bing data. So I've made a duplicate of this scenario, and within this get keywords, I'm sending the Data for SEO URL that I want to target. Within this playground, we see search engine type of Google. We can move down to Bing and go on to ranked keywords. And then when we go down to code example, we see the exact post URL that we need to hit in order to get that Bing data. So I've just copied that in here. Then we're passing that to BuildShip. And then within the BuildShip scenario, instead of hard coding the Data for SEO URL we want to provide, I'm now getting that, the Data for SEO URL, exactly as it's been provided there, Data for SEO URL. So that's getting it from the request body, which is this request body. So now we could have two scenarios targeting the exact same BuildShip endpoint here without having to create a separate BuildShip project. Let's reprocess these from the start. I have these URLs. I'm going to go back to Google Sheets. I'll click choose where to start and select all. Then I'm going to process these. I'm going to select run once. And you see how quickly it gets that data from BuildShip. We already have the first keyword report done and the second one and the third one. So that is ridiculously fast to update that many rows in one go using make.com. We've gone to the first Garage Gym reviews report and we see we have all the keywords that it's ranking for in Google according to data for SEO, the search volume, the rank, it has keyword difficulty for some of them, and there you go. You can add in as many URLs you want and it will just take a few seconds to process quite a lot of them. You see I've passed in a single URL and it's still able to process that as well. It shows the search volume, keyword difficulty for some as well. You may be wondering why I'm including some of these fields that are not being populated. That's to keep it in the exact same format as our Google keyword tool. Then you can merge these reports together and it'll work completely fine. So that was relatively advanced, but it shows you that if you can piece these kind of systems together, then you can overcome the limitations of no-code tools like make.com and be far more flexible and efficient for outputting these kinds of reports. If you want to get access to all of our automation blueprints, then check out the link in the description to our community. We'll get access to all of our automation templates, including the one in this video. You'll have access to all of our courses and more are on the way. You can get your questions answered through our live workshops, and you can post questions and discussion items through our community as well.